Real Madrid yet with another defeat against Barcelona this season, which makes it 4 times this year Real Madrid have lost to Barcelona. It's embarrassing, really. As a Madrid fan, each time they play, even if it's not Barcelona, they just perform terribly. And I've been saying forever, key reasons Ancelotti. I don't know what else to say. A key reason is because Carlos Ancelotti's injury factor and everything of that is his fault. He doesn't use his bench, doesn't use players, blah, 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 blah. But this match in particular, Madrid are in a 2-0 lead just to drop it just like that. And it's just, I didn't write notes or anything. I wasn't even home when I watched the game. A key reason that is defense. The defense issue is Ancelotti's fault. This season, he could have integrated these young players, academy players, Diego Aguado, Lorenzo Aguado, maybe kept Vinicius Tobias, maybe give more minutes to Jacob Ramon. Vallejo's leaving the season, so they don't prioritize him. But if you see Lucas Vazquez misperforming, which for me, I love the way Lucas Vazquez attacking-wise as a winger. Even in the back when he pushes up to the final third, Lucas Vazquez does an amazing job doing that. He does an amazing job getting the ball up, getting the ball into the middle, going to the final third, make key passes. For me, Lucas Vazquez isn't a great attacker. But he gets hate for playing a position where he shouldn't even be playing. You would never see Barcelona play a Ferran Torres, a Fermin, a Casado, a left back or right back. You won't. Barcelona will not do that. Ancelotti thinks that, it didn't work out last time. Just try again next time. Hopefully it does. And then next time happens, if they don't perform, he's like, let's do it next time. He did. He's been doing this all season. And key mistakes. Lucas Vazquez just didn't perform well. He didn't. Lucas Vazquez did not perform good. Dani Ceballos, I was huge. Dani Ceballos was, for me, a key factor in Real Madrid's midfield before his injury. And then, ever since he played that Arsenal game, I feel like after that he hasn't really shown what he was. For me, it was kind of similar to how, big difference, don't get me wrong. But it was similar to how, Fede Valverde before the World Cup in 2022, before he was the best midfielder in the world. And then, he dropped a little bit in form, wasn't bad, but, it kind of gives me similar to this, Ceballos was a key factor in just midfield. And don't get me wrong, when people misunderstood what I said he was like Pedri from Madrid, and people are like, he's not better than Pedri. I'm like, no, he's not. He's not better. Pedri is the best midfielder in the world at the moment. He's important-wise for Real Madrid at the time, earlier this year. The way he handles the ball, controls the midfield, gets the ball up, key passes. He was doing that for Real Madrid until he got injured. And in these past, 5 games, couple games he's been playing, he just didn't look like that. He hasn't looked like what he was doing earlier this year. And this game just did not help. You put Tchouameni in center back. Madrid as a whole, Madrid just lost by key mistakes. That's really it. Well, of course, Madrid didn't perform well. Mbappe doesn't know what an offside rule is. He still doesn't. He could have got a penalty, but was offside. Scored 2 offside goals, one in the first half and then one in the second half. People want to say that Mbappe played really good. He did his job. He got a hat trick. But playing wise, you need to drop back. You need to make the play. You need to, there's a situation where Vini could have made key passes. One to Mbappe, another one he shot the ball instead of making the play. And I just feel like Vini is in a situation where he wants to go and wants to be that player, but it's just not going to work out with that. Watching that Bilbao match, or was it Bilbao? No, it was Celta Vigo match. Odegaard played great, and then everyone wanted him to start this match. Rodrigo wasn't well, so he didn't play at all. But when you see people hitting Odegaard, it's hard when your team's not performing, especially your back line. You're trying to get the ball up. The rest of the team is not going to perform. Sure, there's situations where Odegaard had the ball, whatever. But if your team as a whole is not playing good, of course, certain players are not going to play well. Bellingham wasn't even a player during that match. I feel like he was even playing. It's just, if key people in the team to make the team aren't playing, then of course your star players aren't going to perform as well. Madrid's whole back line. Asensio tried to do his job. He was the only proper defense in the back. Tchouameni playing out of position. Fran Garcia, for me, I'm a huge fan of his, but he didn't perform as well. Yalmal every time in a Clasico always has Yalmal, or not Yalmal. Yalmal always has Fran, locked up. But yeah, the first half, you're 2-0 up, and then boom, 4-2. Or is it 3-2? Boom. Ah, a lot of key things. Real Madrid, this 100% costed Real Madrid the league title. They're pretty much out. Barca not gonna lose these next 3 games. You don't even know Real Madrid might not even win these next few games. So that's switched out. Xavi's going to Brazil, or not Xavi. Ancelotti's going to Brazil. Xabi Alonso is joining Real Madrid as manager. Everything confirmed, done deal. I'm happy to see that in the list. I've made videos about him. Uh, but yeah, Real Madrid just in the first half it's sloppy. Um, the second half was just wasn't any better. It was just mistakes, and there's referee calls. Tchouameni's handball. For me, I've never liked the handball rule. For me, it makes no sense because at first I just remember growing up when it hits your hand, it's a foul, and then years go by on, and now it's certain angles where your hand is, and now some 9 times out of 10, it's not even they. I just don't like the handball. I just feel like they should just make it so if it hits your hand at all, because they say natural position, but I feel like everywhere you have your hand is a natural position. So that rule just makes no sense. They should just make it if it hits your hand, it's a penalty. Unless, besides the touches your body, like if your hand's touching your body, then sure. But if you're like this, like defending like this, and it hits your hand, it's a handball. This, so that I couldn't defend. Mbappe scored. Actually, they scored 3 offside goals. I think Mbappe scored 3 offside goals. Oh no. Tchouameni scored a header and Mbappe jumped over the ball. Um, I like I said, even the offside rules are stupid. They used to be where there's instances, there's situations where you pass the ball and it's coming towards you, but you back away so it doesn't touch you, and other player scores. Boom, it's a goal, or sometimes it's not a goal. The whole offside rule needs a whole revamp as well. They should just make it so if you don't touch the ball, now it's like you're interfering with play without touching the ball. Like I said, the whole thing needs a revamp. Same thing with handball. It's just confusing. People Barcelona saying that they were robbed. I just feel like it was just back. I feel like the ref was bad on both sides. There are instances where Barca players were diving, Barca players weren't even touching the ball, or Madrid players didn't even touch them. Handballs that weren't called. Maybe the young, similar to Enter, so I wouldn't really count that as handball. But yeah, I just feel like the referee was bad on both sides. So I don't think it was like a one-sided thing. Real Madrid tried to rob the match, but didn't succeed. I just think that in general, just didn't perform well. And then of course, Ferran Torres, I think he had a hat trick of assists. Rafinha scored. Firmino scored a handball outside or handball goal towards the end. They should just gave it to him. Victor Muniz for me it hurt. I'm a huge fan of the academy players, and Victor Muniz is a player on my list where I think he should get more minutes and maybe go on loan and get some game time somewhere else. But he he really missed his chance. He had a chance to tie the game, keep Madrid's title hopes alive. His debut. Now this narrative now that he's hated and he had to disable his comments and stuff like that, and he 100% didn't even expect to play. He got called up, which I was surprised. I'd rather have Gonzalo Garcia, who's playing really well for Real Madrid Castilla down in the third division tiers of Spain. And I feel like Gonzalo Garcia, if it was in Victor Muniz's shoes, would have probably scored that because he's had more minutes than Muniz. And unless Garcia was injured or something, I don't know the reason why Gonzalo Garcia wasn't called up. But yeah, that's pretty much for the match. I didn't take no notes, so I'm 100% missing a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I think that going to next game in Mallorca, I think that he should just play youngsters, like give some youngsters a chance, give Kiema a chance, give Diego and Diego and Lorenzo Aguado chances. The Moroccan left back, I forget his name, or Fran Garcia, just to get more minutes, just to get into the rhythm of things. Play Lunin, play whatever you got. Barcelona aren't going to lose these next 3 games. It all depends, really. Let's say Barcelona play first. I don't know who plays first in the schedule. If Barcelona do play first and they lose, maybe not think about playing the academy because you might still have a chance on catching the league. If Barca need to lose all of these 3 games, unless they can they lose 2? I don't know if they can lose 2 or to tie with 1, but I just know that they can't win a single game. So Barcelona need to lose these next 3 games. Barcelona do need 1 point. I remember Barcelona need 1 point to win La Liga. Um, but yeah, we'll see what happens. At this rate, just give the academy players a chance. Um, give Endrick minutes. Endrick played in Real Madrid went for more attacking towards the end of the game, and you know whatever. We'll see what happens with Real Madrid going against Mallorca, but this is Barcelona 4, Real Madrid 3.